Good morning, traders. Welcome to the market caller for today, the 10th of July 2026. We're excited to have you all joining us today for our market caller we're having today. And we're quickly going to be looking at the chart as we get a quick recap for the market caller today, looking at currency pairs from GBP USD to Euro USD. We're going to be looking at the yen pairs. We're going to be looking at synthetic indices as well as US stock indices and commodity currencies. These are the things we're going to be covering today as we proceed in the market analysis. And then after doing our recap, we're also going to be showing you the things we expect to play out in the market as the week unfolds and what we expect to happen for today. All right, so these are the aspects of the market color we're looking to cover. So quickly, we're looking at week recap, we're looking at trades for today, and we're looking at the projections as we head into the new week. These are the things we're looking at to cover in today's market column. My name is CJ, and together with me, we have Cynthia, Demola, Leiko, and Abby joining us today for the market color session. So quickly, without further ado, we're heading straight into the chart, starting off with the analysis on gold against the dollar. It has been a very, very interesting week and a very volatile week due to the volatile news releases we've also been seeing in the recent weeks. We've had the US government coming out to say that they are crashing talks with Iran from the previous agreements that they had. They're saying that they're going back on their word and they're not going to stick to the agreement. And now that there is a dispute, we're seeing various confusions in the market. And if you're as confused as others are, then just chill. We're going to be giving you a quick explanation as to what has been going on in the market so far. So quickly, let's look at our chart on gold. Now, looking at gold, as the news came out a couple of days ago, first reaction on gold was bearish because we're seeing things like US oil spiking to the upside. Currently, US oil is trading at $71 per barrel, and that is the major concern as per this current geopolitical conflict. But for gold, we saw it move to the downside. It lost some amount, moving below or somewhere around the 4,000 price point. But then on Thursday, we saw a quick injection of liquidity on gold, and we saw gold move further to the upside, back into the 4,000 region. Right now, we're looking to be bullish on gold because during these uncertainties, most people want to put their money in gold because it's more of a safe haven asset at this time. So I'm looking to change my bias shortly on gold because my original bias on gold was bearish, but right now I'm looking to change my bias to a bullish one on gold, and I'm expecting it to buy further upwards into the upside, at least in the meantime. So in that regard, we are seeing more and more buys on gold moving to the upside. So we'll be looking out for possible places where we'll be taking entries from to execute our bullish momentum on gold. Now, if you look at the 4-hour time frame on this particular broker, we're seeing that price has broken this structure on the 4-hour time frame, and we're expecting further and further push to the upside. I don't expect it to give me a very deep retracement, but I just expect to see more and more push to the upside. On the 1-hour time frame, we're seeing that we already broke structure somewhere around here. All right, this was the last structure to the downside. The structure has been broken on the 1-hour time frame. So we're expecting more and more buys on gold to the upside. Okay, from right where price is, we're seeing that it has retraced already on this particular swing, and somewhere around 61.8. So we're expecting buys to the upside on gold. So for this morning, my bias on gold is bullish, and I'm expecting buys to play out this morning on gold. Where am I going to be looking for a buy? Well, I'll be looking for a buy from where price currently is. I'll be expecting to see some bullish momentum or a bullish entry pattern, more of a bullish engulfing candle or a morning star pattern. So either of these two would give me an entry on gold, and I'll be looking to buy gold all the way to this upside around here because this is the buy, was the sell region. So I'm looking to buy all the way to this region right here. So I'm looking to buy gold all the way to 4,130 price points. So that is my bias on gold this morning. A buy from 4,100 all the way to 4,130. That is the first instance. And then the second instance of my buy on gold would be to this particular place right here. So I'll be expecting another round of buy on gold all the way to this place right here. There's a 15-minute order block and a left shoulder residing around that region. So I'm looking to buy gold all the way to these two areas this morning. So if I see an entry pattern on gold, I'll be executing from this place right away. Now let's move to the yen basket. Now you can see how the yen basket has been making this move already today, and you can see that it has made this very strong injection of liquidity to the upside from this particular place where price is. If you go back to the daily time frame, you'd also notice that the yen basket has already made the retracement we wanted it to make, although it didn't make it exactly to the exact point, which was right here around 4992. So as it got very close to this place, this is where we expected a buy. You can see that it is buying already. So based on technical analysis, it's no news that the yen basket is already buying. So it's playing out according to what we expected to see today. Now for the lower time frames, which is like the 4 hour time frame, you can see that there's not clearly broken structure yet, but it's making those moves to the upside. So I'm going to be bullish on the yen basket today, but I'll then expect a good retracement before I jump in to the trade. So for now, I'm keeping my tabs open on the yen basket and yen pairs. Now, if you're looking at GBP JPY, you can see that for GBP JPY, we've not even broken any structure yet. This is the last structure on GBP JPY for the 4 hour time frame. It has not been broken yet. On the daily time frame as well, you see that GPJPY hasn't broken that structure. Yeah, so this is more like what do we call it? Another block now, right? So this is more like another block for GBP and we could see it resume the buy from this particular place, just like we could see the yen basket resume the sell from this particular place, because I told you guys this is where I expect it to get to. So this buy may not be, it may be short-lived, so we're expecting to see resumption back to the downside from here. So if you're looking at GBP I'm expecting a strong buy from here, this particular point right here, all the way to the upside, seeing that price has not broken this structure, regardless of the bullish bias we have on the yen basket. GBP JPY hasn't broken here, neither has Euro JPY too. You can see that there's not been any clear break of structure around here. If you look at it even on the 1 hour time frame, you see there was no clear break of structure. Price only tipped to that point, but it didn't break it off. You can see that price didn't close below that particular price point on higher time frame. So we're not going to be taking this as a considerable break of structure at this time. So for Euro JPY and GBP JPY, I'm still maintaining my bullish bias, because even if you go on the 15 minutes time frame, Euro JPY is about to even break structure to the upside. So I'm maintaining a bullish bias on Euro JPY and on GBP JPY at this time. And I'm waiting for price to break and close above here, and I'll execute my buy. So for Euro JPY, I'm waiting for price to break and close above here to take a buy. And then for GBP JPY, I'm also expecting price to break and close above here to take my buy. This is what I'm looking to capture on these two pairs that I've analyzed. So for gold, I'm expecting a bullish run. For Euro JPY and GBP JPY, I'm also expecting a bullish run. So quickly, we're going to analyze the dollar. Quickly, we're going to analyze the dollar against the yen, and we're also going to be looking at dollar against the foreign currencies like GBP and Euro, okay? So we're going to be starting off with the dollar index, and then we'll proceed to Euro USD and GBP USD. And for that, we're going to be having Cynthia join us today on the live market color to share her thoughts on these three pairs I've mentioned. Good morning, Cynthia.
Morning, CJ. Thank you so much for that very wonderful analysis from your end. And I hope that we all are taking advantage of every price point being called here. So without taking further of our time, we'll just head straight to see what DXY, GBP USD, and USD are doing. Wait a moment while I pull up my chart. Apologies. So while I'm still trying to pull up my charts, if you remember during the London market color session, Monday market outlook rather, I believe you can see my screen. During the Monday outlook, we actually said that we were looking out to short DXY short term and then long GBP USD and Euro USD. So let's see how that played out. On the daily time frame for the dollar, we have been looking at this price point for price to retrace into we're deciding right here at 99.520. So price still has a long way to retrace right back into this level before continuing the buy on the dollar, right? So on the 4-hour time frame, we're seeing that most recent price action is actually tilting to the downside. There are a lot of liquidity right here that I am speculating that price will fill, right? The liquidity voids, I beg your pardon, a lot of void here, further gaps that price should fill before, tending to the upside, right? And eventually trading into our POI on the daily time frame. So all we're concerned with is to be looking out for sell entries on the dollar. On the 15 minutes time frame, there's nothing so clear as to where we'll be entering the sell of the dollar from. And on the 5 minutes time frame, also, there's no entry per se at this point for the sell of the dollar. So let's see what GBP USD has for us, what we analyzed and what played out. On Monday, we're actually looking at the daily time frame for price to retrace into this level, and price has tapped into this level. So we may see some push to the downside of that point. And on the 4-hour time frame, most recent price action, as you can see right here, is actually bullish. So we are only concerned with buying GBP USD, except we see a clear break of structure. Right, on 1-hour time frame, let's see if there be any entry on 1-hour time frame. As we can see right here, there is none. On the 15 minutes time frame, based on the box strategy, it is not so clear. But there's a shoulder right here at 1 spot 3. There's a shoulder right here at 1 spot 33434. Shoulder sweep break, return right back to this level, and I want to buy GBP USD. So keep your eyes glued to this, or you can set your pending orders for the buy of GBP USD at 1 spot 33434 and take opportunities in the market. On Euro USD, the daily time frame, of course, GBP USD has fulfilled its own, but Euro USD still has so much room to trade to the upside, even into this other block on the daily time frame. On the 4-hour time frame, this is not moving with so much momentum to the upside. It's stalling, more like it's caught in a range, but to the upside. On 1-hour time frame, Euro USD is stuck in a range at this moment. But on the 15 minutes time frame, I spotted the classic box pattern on Monday, right? I spotted this and I was looking out for price to trade into that level. Price even traded beyond it, but eventually, with a general stop loss, will not be stopped out of this trade, will still be in the trade. Eventually, price traded to the upside. I'm still looking out for buys on Euro USD, but with more caution because we are in a range at this moment. Euro USD is in a range. So I will do nothing. My best trade for today is GBP USD. And of course, we were unable to spot an entry, but best believe that once we get that entry, we're going to be calling it out in the market call or support group. Let us head straight to the synthetics market to take opportunity. It is actually opened 247. Even on the weekends, you still see opportunities in the market to trade the synthetics market. So Lekon, what are you
Hello, good
seeing
morning.
Across asset classes?
Yeah, good morning, Cynthia. Good morning, good morning, good morning. I want to believe you can hear me. Please let me know if you can hear me,
Loud and
please.
clear, we can hear
All
you.
right, thank you so much. Thank you so much. So this morning, on the synthetic market, it's been a very cool one. However, we've been seeing how that price has been moving expanding so far, so good. So this morning we are going to start with the 75. Now, the 75 index on the daily time frame has been a bullish market, very bullish one. And just as you can see on my chart this morning, it's been very bullish. And the funniest part of it is we've been waiting for price to retrace, even though we actually joined the buy, but exit was somewhere at the top here. And we've been waiting for price to retrace, and there hasn't been any form of retracement for the past few days now. So the only setup we have for V75 right now is on the 4-hour time frame, which is this shoulder level, and it is more refined on the 2-hour time frame. So if you look at the 2-hour time frame, you're going to observe we have a lot of liquidity below here. The price is still going to come back and take out. And when price takes it out, we want to see tap into this shoulder, and we pull the trigger, follow through all the way to the upside. So for V75 this weekend, today being Friday, and just as Cynthia said earlier on, the market is open 247. So this is going to be it for us for V75. And remember, do your 1:2 or 1:3 at mass and get out of the trade, right? So that is the setup we are looking out for on the 75 index. Okay, so let's move to the next pair that we love to trade well here, which is 751S. Now, for 751S, we've seen how the bullish move has been very strong. Also, we're able to catch some of this move all the way to this liquidity point. But however, we see that price is still very much bullish all the way to the upside. So the next thing is that where exactly is price heading to, and what can we do to that? So if you look at it right now, you're going to observe that price has been in a very strong bullish momentum, and for 4-hour time frame, the only retracement level that I'm seeing price coming into is this particular low, the origin where it peaked from. And that sounds funny, right? That after this massive buy to the upside, if for any reason price is going to we are going to join the buy, then we want to wait for proper retracement, because what price is doing now is more like a bullish flag forming after the long buy. Then we have consolidation, and there's high probability that price break all the way to the upside. But right now there has not been any entry point for price, especially if you check the lower time frame, 1 hour to be specific. You are going to see for the past few days now we've been in a very strong consolidation. Since on Sunday we've been in consolidation for almost a week, and see what price is doing, just consolidating there. So I'm of the opinion that until we see price break out of this consolidation, then that's when we would consider looking out for to join the buy. Then that makes the buy setup below becomes invalid. All right, so that is for the 751S. And lastly, this 10. Remember, we've been waiting for this particular pair for a long period of time now. After this massive expansion, we see price pull back all again, and on our 4-hour time frame, it triggered a pending order, which moved yesterday, and we see it returning back this morning. And remember, our stop loss is still just below this low here. So this was our entry as price resumed this buy somewhere here into this shoulder level. This was our entry with our stop loss just below this level. However, I'm of the opinion that since we are still waiting to see what becomes of price, but the way price is coming back down with a very strong momentum here, two things would happen. Is either price is coming to take out this inducement lead to one here, but still respect our stop loss. So just let's watch. If you've not joined the trade, watch. But if for those of us who are already in the trade, let's wait and see. Remember, our stop loss is here, and we are not expanding it. Just leave it that way. Now, if you come to your 1-hour time frame, you are going to see that on the 1 hour, it seems more like we are having a market shift. However, I go to the lower time frame, which is 15 minutes, to see what exactly is playing out on the 15-minute there. And on the 15-minute, all I'm seeing is price pulling back into this shoulder, just as you can see here. So as price pull back there, in case you've not joined the buy, for those of us who already bought at the beginning of the 4-hour shoulder. But for those who have not joined, you can easily execute your trade now with your stop loss just below this level. All right, so that is that for the synthetic market this morning. V75, 75, 1S, and volatility 10 index. Remember to trade cautiously and use your proper risk management strategy. So this morning we'll be going straight into the indices market to see what exactly is going on there and what's the recap for the week on indices. Can we just have, so we'll be having Demola join us and take us on this journey this morning. Good morning, Demola. All right, I guess we couldn't get a feedback from him. So let's quickly move to the commodity market as we have Abigail give us some deep insight in the commodity asset this morning. Good morning, Abigail.
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Lekon. Good morning once again, and welcome to today's market color session. We are going to be looking at the commodity currencies market to see what opportunities lay in here for us to make some money, right? Starting off with AUD/USD on the H4 time frame. So on the H4 time frame of AUD/USD, you can see how price has, been breaking structures from somewhere around April all the way to this point. There's been a new sunshine printed, meaning that people who bought AUD USD from point A all the way to this level. See my screen, right? Okay, so having this of the sunshine indicator that was printed, this sell was expected. Hence why you see that I've now drawn out 2 points of interest that price could retrace into before it either continues to buy, because H1 is already sign that price may just give us more break of this previous support level that could now be current resistance somewhere around here or somewhere around here, right? You can see how price acted or is acting like a flip zone right around this zone. This was a previous support. Move it into current price action. Price is starting to react off that zone. Remember, it's a zone and not a specific price point. So I'm maybe tap in here or give us confirmation of sell, right? However, most preferably, I would want to even see another sunshine printed on the H4 time frame to signify that people who gave us this retracement are taking profits off the market. So going down again to H1, this is now the point of interest we're watching out for. I'm going to call them out. If you don't have the indicators, it is very understandable. Just take note of the price points I'm calling out and don't allow it to, confuse you, right? So this is now our first point of interest on the H1 time frame, 0.69385 and 0.69133. What am I saying? I'm saying price could continue to sell into this zone, or it could violate this level and trade all the way to the next point of interest down here before we now see the buy continued. Or it could violate these zones, break to the downside, and just continue to sell. So what's going to make me know what is going to happen, which is when I go to the 5-minute time frame. Okay, so on the 5-minute time frame now, you can see that I've already marked out 4 major POIs. Yesterday's high, low, day before yesterday's high, and low. These are now basically serving as support and resistance levels. This is the previous resistance that could act as current support to continue to push AUD/USD to the upside. This is the support that could still hold as another support. And then there's a major level here from the H1, which is in sync with our 5-minute trend, right? Okay, so price has now broken through yesterday's high and day before yesterday's high. It broke through it to the downside. We're already seeing signs that price will continue to buy, looking at all the indicators on the 5-minute time frame. So price is here. Are you going to give us a bit more digging to the downside before you continue to buy? We'll wait for confirmations. So for now, I'm not even going to bother going to the 1-minute time frame to check if those confirmations have been given, because M5 is already showing that there's no confirmation yet. It's still just downward. So Just take note of these 4 levels that I've marked out, and let's see what price does around these zones. I'm going to call them out for, the sake of those of us who don't have the indicators. The first level on the 5-minute time frame is 0.69467. Second one, almost the same level, call it out. The third one is now 0.65. These are now the 4 major levels I'm watching out for. My bias is on this asset class. I'm saying that price is currently approaching the point of interest, right? And when I see confirmations from here, I'll be looking to take, a quick buy. However, if there is no confirmation following what H4 is showing, then my bias for the sale would be stronger. The only thing that will give me a bit more concern is the major support level that we have all the way down here. That price could eventually come in and then tap from. So for now, there's still a bit more room for price to trade lower, but we're going to be watching and acting accordingly with the market. Remember, we want to react and not just predict. Looking at NZU frame, throughout this week, we have predominant buys of this asset class. Price has now got trapped into our H4, indicator, the pullback indicator right here, sunshine printed. So I'm now expecting price to do what? Sell. I'm expecting price to sell from here into 0.57110, and my point of interest to is 0.56900. So temporary sales. I have a stronger temporary sell bias on NZUSD before the H1 buy is continued, because of course price is fractal, and whatever the lower time frames do, the higher time frames would eventually catch up with. I read together. So looking at the 5-minute time frame now, we have 4 major POIs that have now been marked out on this asset class. POI 1 is 0.57602, point of interest 2 is 0.57190, point of interest 3, 0.57153. This third POI has 2 confluences, so I highly advise that you watch out for this zone. From this to this, these are key levels that price would most likely, trade into. And then the final one on M5 is 0.56821. These are what I'm watching out for to see what price does around those zones. What did I say? I said I see that price could have, reasons to dig deeper, because look at this. There's a lot of liquidity lying around here. There's a flip zone resistance that could act as support around this zone. So we're going to be watching to see what price does. And then finally, looking at USD CAD on the H4 time frame. So USD CAD now has been predominantly to the upside. It's been buying for a while. Sunshine printed, making me see that price could just continue to buy from here all the way upward. When it comes to the H1 now, you see that it has been ranging for a while. Look at this. So just stuck between equal highs and equal lows. However, this range is looking like a range to the downside, because these are, gradually coming downward. Anyway, on the H1 time frame now, this is where price currently is. I expect USD CAD to give a bit more buy from where it currently is. I'm going to take this one out from where it currently is all the way into 1.41880. And once it gets in here, we're going to see reactions. What type of reactions? One of 2 things will happen in the market, of course. Either you break above, continue to buy, or hit resistance and sell back into 1.40127. And then for the 5-minute time frame, same thing I did on the other asset classes. Mark out yesterday's high, low, day before yesterday's high and low, and just watch out those zones. Okay, so 2 confluences here. You see why I keep saying these levels have double confluences, because it just gives us more assurance that that may be the most preferred level that price reacts from. And let us see what the market does from this zone, and we're going to be acting accordingly to make some money off of it. With that being said, thank you so much for joining today's session. We look forward to seeing you next week. It's the weekend and getting better prepared for Monday's analysis, 8:30 a.m. as usual. I remain Sabi. Thank you so much for joining. See you next